My name is Vicky Patel, the Chair of NQICAN and Clinical Effectiveness Manager at the Rotherham Foundation Trust.
Hi, I'm Marina Otley, General Secretary, Deputy Chair for NQICAN, and I'm also the Clinical Effectiveness Lead at Nottingham City Care.
So we'd value sharing with you all as our NQICAN members and colleagues the benefit of joining us for the quarterly open NQICAN meetings, and in addition then attending your local regional network meetings. So we'd like to revisit with you all the purpose of both meetings and then just reflect on how each of your own employing organisations benefit from your engagement, but also our networks from our collective participation. So I just want to touch really on the difference between the two meetings. So you can see here on the slide that the open meeting that we run quarterly provides that open platform to hear directly from our stakeholders and other representatives of those clinical effectiveness work streams, with that two-way communication of being able to ask those questions and clarify information to take away and take forward in our own organisations, and also that of our partners across our systems. Whereas the regional network meetings offer that more local discussion about how we're all taking these initiatives forward, our successes and our challenges, sharing and supporting one another, but also looking at how we can make those improvements across our patient pathways. And maybe where you can't attend yourself at any point in time, you think about asking one of your own team to attend on behalf of your own organisation. Really good for their own development to be networking. But just thinking, Marina, about how we both gain maybe within our national roles, but with our roles back in our own organisations, what do you feel you take away from both meetings?
So in my day job role, I'm a member of the East Midlands Network, and I have been for quite a long time. The benefit I get out of the East Midlands Network is I find it really useful to be able to attend that regional meeting for peer support. Definitely being in an organisation where where we have very limited clinical audit support. I find it really useful to get ideas of different approaches and reflections on the way in which we do things. To see those different approaches that people take, I think is really valuable. And also to be able to have those discussions as well directly with people, with others, on those priorities that might be priorities for us as a region that aren't necessarily reflected elsewhere. Whereas with the national meetings, what I find it really useful is to kind of understand what that national direction, those priorities are at national level. I think it's great to be able to hear from the people who are in running national clinical audits and regulators to be able to understand where they're coming from. And it also gives us that opportunity as well to be able to ask people directly in those roles, rather than escalating things, as we also can do through our regional networks. But it's that opportunity to have that kind of direct contact.
And I think it's pretty similar for myself, really. I think nationally, from those open meetings, I like to know I'm not missing anything. I want to know what's coming up on the agenda next, and feeding those key messages back through my own strategic reporting in my own organisation, and then also directly to my own team. And I know when I attend YEARN, the Yorkshire and Humber Effectiveness and Audit Regional Network, it's quite a mouthful, I've still got those key messages on my agenda. They're still in my head, and I feel then I can contribute to the meeting. But usually after I've had a bit of reflection with my own team on how those key messages are going to impact on our own work streams and our objectives, that's our future direction. But also thinking about what is it that we already do, what might we need to tweak or introduce, what might we need to even stop. Do any of these key messages, if we implement them and take them forward, does this impact on just our own team or organisation, or actually is it wider? Do we need to be working with others to take this forward? And then I love the regional network meetings because I love listening to what everybody else is doing. And usually someone else has already had to go. They might have cracked it. What can I then learn from them that I can take back to my own organisation? It's that pinch with pride. And has somebody already got a plan or a solution? Have we got a plan or solution where I'm actually working that we can share more widely with others as well? And it's that peer support, as you've already touched on, that learning together. And then is there something that we could perhaps do as a region collectively that we can then share with other regions as well. So I do find them quite invigorating when I attend.
Yeah, and
So
it's worth thinking about how we can kind of make sure we're supporting those regional networks, because obviously they, you know, as we've said, the benefit of them is that interaction. They are definitely about networking, and they rely on that member participation. We want them to be interactive, lots of discussion, ideas, sharing, learning. So obviously, please do think about how you as an organisation might be able to support those regional network meetings to happen. It doesn't have to be yourself. It could be anybody within that team that you're working with in your own organisation who could potentially step forward and give that little bit of extra support to help those regional networks keep running. It's good to kind of think about how you can bring that back to your own team to identify topics, any successes or challenges that you might want to take to that regional meeting for discussion, and also to feed back to your team from the regional meeting, so that we've got that two-way link between your own organisation's clinical audit, effectiveness improvement function through to the regional meeting. So we're making sure we're sharing and taking as much back into our organisations as possible. So we'd love for you to join us for the 2024 NQICAN Open Meetings. They're all held on Microsoft Teams, and they're all scheduled for 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Our next meeting is scheduled for the 28th of March, and then following that it's the 5th of June, 24th of September and 12th of December 24. So they're the next 4 meetings. Try and get them in your diary. We do make sure that the meeting links are advertised as widely as we possibly can. We put them on the NQICAN website and on the NQICAN forum as well that we've got, as well as sharing with regional network chairs and via our mailing and circulation list. So, but of course, if there's any difficulties, please do get in touch with our contact details, as you can see on the slide.
Yeah, that sounds great, Marina. And then obviously the regional network meetings now, I think the majority of the regions are moving to quarterly meetings as well, that will then follow on a few weeks after the open meetings, so you can take those key messages into your forums for discussion and sharing and learning. So I think probably in summary then, I think NHS England resource and support our networks to progress that clinical audit for improvement agenda that is aligned to the NHS impact approach to quality improvement. And it is about ensuring that we are monitoring and measuring the quality of care and services that we deliver every day to our patients and service users. So it's about us all working together to drive improvements in delivering clinically effective care, and massive emphasis on addressing those health inequalities and supporting people to live healthy lives for longer. So who wouldn't want to engage and be part of that improvement journey? So hopefully we'll look forward to seeing you at the open meetings and your regional network meetings. Thank you.